How are you? How are you, Ebony?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Where are you right now?
I'm in Colorado.
So where you are right now, is it because of school?
I'm out here because my brother lives out here and I was gonna buy land with him, but yeah, it didn't work out. So I'm headed back to Georgia. Much happier there.
What part of Georgia?
I'm going to Powder Springs.
Powder Springs. I asked that question like I know exactly where, every section.
It's like 30 minutes from Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's nice out there.
The difference between Georgia and Colorado is
Gonna be the food and diversity, for sure.
That's a that's a very educated answer.
Yeah, I can't be in somewhere.
But we're not going for the educated answer. Just tell us what's the difference.
That's the difference.
People don't understand the food and diversity. So
I mean, that's the biggest thing. Well, the altitude here isn't great. I feel it's really not great. The dryness sucks. It's really it like gives you bloody noses and it dries out your skin so badly. I hate it here. But
how do you get
diversity?
You mean to tell me everybody just walk around and all of a sudden they nose start bleeding?
I mean, mine do.
That's like some alien stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, that's scary.
My household is like that. It's like everyone in my house, we just get bloody noses. Like we'll wake up with a bloody nose. We're like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Hi, are you?
Also, it was snowing until like May 20th. Who wants that? Who wants to deal with that? Not me.
So hold on. Do you know how high you all are above sea level for you to just get nosebleeds?
I don't know. I don't know how high we are, to be honest. We're pretty high though, because we're higher than Denver. And
oh yeah, you all are almost at the tip of it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're in the Springs, so it's super hot. No.
So when are you moving back to Georgia?
2 weeks. I'm here for another 2 weeks.
You only got 14 days to deal with that madness. That's good. I like the background. It's nice. It's creative.
Thanks. This is Target shower curtain.
Okay. All right.
Looks like a picture, actually. If you didn't tell us, we wouldn't have known.
It does. It does. It matches the hair. It matches your hair.
Yeah. I didn't do it on purpose.
It's amazing, LaVerne, how I got advice on everything and I ain't got no kids, right?
Yeah, I'm listening. It's just amazing. I just keep smiling because I'm like, you got a different title every day. I mean, my goodness. That is so funny. And she's hilarious. Like, she's just like, oh, okay.
I just go with the flow.
Just go with the flow. That's it.
That's it. No. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, otherwise I'm just gonna get stressed out. And what's the point of that?
Yeah, there's no reason to stress. You still have your life, your freedom, and you enjoy yourself.
Yeah, we don't want no stress.
Exactly. I'm just focused on moving forward. I start school again next month, so it's just one of those things.
What school?
I'm gonna go to Kennesaw State University.
Yeah. Is that's in Georgia?
Yeah, it is. It's like
that's in. Is it a historically Black college?
It is not. No, I didn't go to any HBCU.
Why? Why didn't you?
It just wasn't what drew me in. I guess it wasn't. That's not where life pulled me. I had other schools in mind that I liked, and again, I do like a more diverse campus, just like I like a more diverse community and stuff like that. So I typically decided to lean towards something that was like thing in one.
When I was younger, I always looked at the historically Black universities. I was like, wow, man, they got I said to myself, they have big universities for Black people to go to. Wow, that's great, man. We created it. Yada, 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 da, 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 da.
I think they're really awesome. Like I definitely see why people go to them.
But then,
I see the appeal.
yes, think about the fraternities and the sororities. Those fraternities and sororities are Greek in their origination. It has nothing to do with us as Africans. You know, people would think that, you know, yeah, I'm a soror, and I'm for this fraternity, da da da. Not to say that there's anything bad about it, because of the sisterhood, the brotherhood, the discipline, and the connections that individuals create over the years, whether you spread out throughout the globe. If you are part of this fraternity, you, no matter how old or young you are, you're in a fraternity that can put you in a position to be successful. And those things are all great. But when you get to the nitty gritty and the creation of it, it's not what we created. And, you know, so many of us think that the sororities, especially in the HBCUs, were all Black. No, they're not. No.
Sororities are literally life. Like, it's just something borrowed.
Yeah. Yes. You know, for me, I began to learn those things when I started studying as much as possible pertaining to Masonry and the Masonic order. But then once I did the research and find out that Masonry goes to Egypt, which is our people, and the buildings of the pyramids and all of those things go to the enlightened ones, which was us Black people, because we were the ones enlightened on this earth before anybody else, and we taught, spread the word, the knowledge, astronomy, and, you know, health, and you know, just different things that dealt with building, and I mean, everything that you can think of is spread throughout the world. But once I began to realize that, I said, wow, man, so much of our education has been diluted, and we don't dig deep enough to find it, to find the truth of it, because most people just don't have time. They live an everyday life. They accept whatever it is that they're teaching, and they keep it moving. But for me, coming from where I was for 28 years, sitting in a cage, all we had time to do was read, research, educate ourselves, and realize that, man, we are a phenomenal race of people. You know, we phenomenal, seriously. I mean, this is not just me saying, talking. Man, Africans, man, this melanin on our skin, this melanin, beside the watch part, because it's lighter, but, you know, the melanin in our skin causes us to be so great. Being able to catch on to things quicker, being able to withstand the heat and the rays of the sun, being able to, our teeth always being clean and white if we take care of ourselves. Our immune systems is a lot stronger because of the melanin, and our athletic ability, our mental acumen, our spirits. It just goes so deep. Once you realize it, man, you ain't gonna be like, man, I want to be like somebody else. Hell no, I'm happy to be who I am.
Yeah, I've never really had I want to be like somebody else. I'm fine with what I am.
That's beautiful. I see you are. You got orange and green hair. You better be.
It's blue.
It's blue. That's a teal.
Yeah, it's like an aqua blue, and this is, what's it? It's called neon peach.
Neon peach.
Did you do that yourself?
Yeah, I do my hair myself. So I actually had my hair locked, and I had what was it? I had purple, blue, pink, and green in my hair. Super cool. But once I took the locks out a couple weeks ago, it didn't look as good in the fro. So I was like, all right before my graduation, I changed the color up. Which here's some of my favorites so far.
Well, the future is definitely bright for you, young lady, and your spirit is very bright. Your spirit is bright. I can. Since you've been on the screen, you've just been smiling, man. We need more people to smile every day. Yeah. I would love to meet your parents, man. I know that, you know, that they must be smiling individuals every day too. You had to get that from them.
Have you not met my dad? I know he knows Juan and everybody else, so I don't know.
I don't think. I don't think that I know your dad. Who's her dad, LaVerne?
Lonzel Ivory.
Oh, I don't think I met him. No.
I know.
No,
He's, you know so many people, so I have to ask.
Yeah, I don't think I met your father. I don't think we ran across each other's path. You know, Juan knows thousands of people, way more than I. His travels have been a
They used
lot.
to do together when they were young.
Huh?
They used to do kung fu when they were young together.
Yeah, I didn't meet Juan until later on in life. I wasn't a part of the Long Island crew. Right now, I'm in Buffalo, New York, which is where I'm from.
That makes sense. Yes, they were definitely Long Island. So.
Right, Long Island is about 550 miles away from Buffalo.
Oh yeah, I was up there for a wedding last year, and I drove back down to Long Island for something else. It's definitely a trip.
Yes. You drove from Colorado to.
So no, I lived in Georgia. I lived in Georgia, so I drove from Georgia to. Well, actually, I went to Niagara Falls, but the area. My uncle lives in Buffalo or Albany. Mm-hmm. He moved to Albany from Buffalo, I guess. My cousin lived in Buffalo, but I drove up there for a wedding last November, and then I had Long Island and back. I was like, oh Lord, it's right before.
You were doing a hell of a lot of driving. What were you driving? What kind of vehicle?
I have a 2021 Kia Soul.
2021 Kia Soul. Yeah. I have no idea what that looks like and what that is.
Do you know those? Do you know them old commercials of the hamsters in the car?
Oh, you have one of them little box cars.
Yeah, but they look nicer.
Right. Oh, yeah, the little box car. Yeah, I seen somebody on the construction site with one of them.
They're so pretty. They're spacious. I love that car.
They're only spacious little people. Come on, man. Don't say they're spacious. They're only spacious little people.
No, they are. There's so much room. I feel a lot of stuff. Look, I have big people. Look, but think about it. Okay, I got me and my mom right in that car, right? I drove that car with 2 dogs, a cat. At the time, I had 6 rats. I had my snake. I had a leopard gecko. I had all that in a car, plus our stuff. And another person.
Wow.
Real roomy.
Wow.
I love that thing.
I can only say that you've proven your point.
That thing I gotta do it again, except some of our rats already died, but I have 3 of them. My tanks, a fish tank, my dogs, my cat, all of that gotta go back to Georgia. I'm an animal person. I'm actually a dog person.
LaVerne, aren't we proud of her?
I'm very proud of you. At least you can voice how you feel, and you know what you will take and what you won't accept, which is important, because like you say, you take me or nothing at all.
Yeah. I mean, I've had way too many people who try to dull my light. I'm like, no, I'm still going to be me at the end of the day, because I got to be happy with myself.
I agree.
That's right.
I totally agree.
There you go. Talk that talk, young lady. Talk that talk.
Confidence. I like that.
Oh, I try.
Confidence comes from education and what's instilled in you from your parents most of the time.
Yeah, my mama did a really good job.
Tell your mama I said, thank you.
I will. She taught me well.
Yes, she did.
And I know I'm thankful for her.
That's right.
We might be a little too alike. We might butt heads, but that's my lady,
And don't forget, you got to be thankful for your daddy too.
I am. I'm thankful for the lessons he taught me.
That's right.
The ones that I don't.
That's right. Because you are the product and creation of your mother and your father.
Yeah. Well, I spent most of my time with my mom. That's why I say my mom.
Yes, but you
most of my time and most of my living situation has been with my mom, especially for over a decade. So she did a lot of the stuff with me. So when I say my mom, it's just because for the most part, it was just me and her. And then my dad's lived in a different state from us since I was 12. So, you know, it's mostly my mom being the big influence.
What I mean is that your characteristic traits are a combination of your mother and your father. Your mother nurtured you. Your mother nurtured you, and she also nurtured the traits that was given to you from your father. So everything that you are is because of them. So when you give your mother her flowers and her accolades, give your father his flowers and his accolades also. He may not have been there physically, but he was there because he created you. You know, don't forget that.
Yeah, I attribute some of my negative qualities from that side, but I picked up some of his bad.
I'm not going to let you get away with that because
I love him. I tease him all the time, but he's great. A lot of the, you know, my goofiness comes from him, and
that's beautiful.
Yeah, I love my dad. He's
beautiful.
I give him a hard time, but he's great. Let somebody come for mine, and then I'm like, all right, like, mind your man. I can
change real quick, huh?
I'm protective of them.
Yeah. I'm turning to you, LaVerne, to do your thing.
All right, so first I would like to recognize June's MFE Network Student of the Month, Alvion Sampson. Can we give Alvion a hand clap? Alvion Sampson is a bright 5-year-old student who loves to dance and play football while also excelling academically. He has won academic awards in math, which is his favorite subject. He wants to be a dentist when he grows up, but also talks about being a police officer because he loves to help people. We are happy to recognize and award Alvion Sampson as the June 2022 MFE Student of the Month. Student of the Month receives an award and then becomes one of 12 candidates for Student of the Year, which includes awards and recognition. Today, we have a graduate from the Art Institute of Atlanta, where she receives her bachelor's in fine arts. Welcome, Ebony Ivory. Please give us a snippet about yourself.
Well, this is probably like, I'm like always into like a bunch of things. So I actually moved around a bit when it came to school, which is why I graduated a little later at 24, but you know, better late than never, I suppose, even though I'm watching, you know, my friends and stuff graduate earlier. I'm like, you know, it wasn't my time yet. I'm definitely like someone that likes to be active in the arts and creativity, and animals and stuff like that. So that's a little about me.
Okay, so I have a few questions I would like to ask you. What interested you about the art field?
I guess what didn't. I grew up watching my dad draw a lot. He was very into realism and stuff like that. And my parents always like pushed and encouraged me to continue developing art for myself. And my dad was always like, oh, one day you're gonna be better than me. And I was always like, you're gonna be just like me. And I was always like, I wanna draw like you when I grow up. And so as I grew up and I developed my skills and I eventually decided to go to art school, he looked at me one day and was like, I'm trying to be as good as you one day. And I guess that really like hit me. I was like, oh, I finally like, like my little childhood heart was like, oh, I made it. Like, and my dad's saying he wants to be like me, and he was this amazing artist, like my biggest inspiration when it came to art. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm here.
Right. That's
Beautiful,
beautiful.
beautiful, beautiful. So who were some of your role models growing up and some of your art influences?
Well, for sure, my dad, when it comes to like, especially art, I wish he had pursued it himself. He's amazing. He's phenomenal. I love seeing everything he's done. He, before I was born, he drew a picture of what I would look like, and it was exactly like who I was now, which I think is so cool. My mom, and her strength has always been a really big inspiration. My brother's dedication to breaking generational curses and keep pushing so he can better his kids' future. Because we always want to be better than what we ever had. No matter how great we had it, we always want it, even better for the next one. And as far as art, it's again gonna be my dad, but like also I'm really into like anime and manga and stuff like that. So like one of my favorites is kind of a Horikoshi. He makes My Hero Academia, and it is phenomenal. And I can't remember his name, but the creator, or her name, I can't remember if it's guy or girl, honestly. But the creator of Demon Slayer is phenomenal. Like, oh.
Way to go. You and your dad is art. I love art. So that's amazing. And I saw Jihad up there. He was up there clapping because I guess you kept saying dad, dad, dad. And he's been waiting for that.
Oh yeah, he's always been a big art inspiration, and like he's really funny and like goofy guy. He's the real fun-loving person. So yeah, he's always been big with art with me. That's what we did together.
Thank you for that.
Hey, I'll always give him his props when props are due. He's really been my fun-loving guy, even when he's just a phone call away. So,
and that's a great thing, because whoever you decide to have as a intimate relationship with, it's going to be a hard shoes to fill. Your daddy. They ain't gonna never be able to feel him, but I'm glad your father is a big influence, because that's the example, that's the set, that's the mark that's being set. Tell him I said, go set in the bar, doggone it.
So Ebony, how has art helped you in your everyday life?
So I was kind of bullied when I was younger growing up, and I do have issues with depression and just general issues and stuff like that. So I tend to find solace and like peace when I get to sit down and finally create. I used to notice that I would self-punish myself by removing the things that brought me joy, like art and writing and anything creative. Like I felt like I wasn't worthy of these wonderful things and talents that I had. And one day I finally had to look at myself and go like, no, you're deserving. And so I gave myself back the things that I love, and being able to do that every day or every chance I get just reminds me that, I am deserving. I'm someone worthy of the happiness that these things provide me. So it's been really big motivational to also better my mental health and kind of keep pushing forward for better every day.
Beautiful. I really like how you expressed that, because you found something for comfort. And that was that was beautiful. It's not always easy to find your niche, at all. It's hard. You found it, and it helped you with what you were going through. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Okay. So last but not least, what advice would you give to today's youth who are interested in studying art as their focus?
I would say realize that art isn't just going to be sitting there and drawing what you love. When you're getting paid to do something, you might not always enjoy the project, like the concept or something. You might find something you don't like, or you're like, oh my gosh, this is stressful. Or you might realize, oh my gosh, this is a lot of business and paperwork and contracts and negotiation. But it would be to stick through that, because, even though at the beginning you might have projects that are not necessarily things that you're like die hard about, those projects will come. You will find your way. And there's so many more opportunities for artists nowadays than there was ever before. Before YouTube and any of those like creative platforms, being able to be your own influencer and do those things weren't an option. But now I can sit there and record, and like, I can record me doing exactly what I want to do, and people will still like come and watch and like enjoy that with me. And, you know, you make money from that. So like, don't think that art is just the starving artist anymore. We're not starving. We're living pretty well nowadays. You know, there's so many opportunities, and literally art is everywhere, from the billboards, from the house designs, from the actual paintings, and from your plates. Art is literally everywhere. You are always going to be needed, no matter how many times people tell you, oh, well, that's not a viable career. It is. It's everywhere. Imagine life without it. You know, there wouldn't be what's behind me.
That's true. When I think about art, actually, I think of a tree that have so many branches because there's so many components to art. Where you said you were very true when that statement you made. You said art before was just focused on pretty much one, you know, component, and it's not just about drawing. Art can be a shirt. You may see a design on a shirt and you feel like it's actually art, you know, and you may see that shirt and say it's one thing, and I might see the shirt and think of it as something different, right? We all may have a different view of whatever that drawing is on that shirt. So that was a good point that you brought out. I really appreciate you sharing that with us, Ebony. So I would like to leave a message with all the viewers here. I would like to say, continue to rise up to our young people and show all things are possible with an education. Let us know if you have an outstanding person you'd like us to recognize. We'll be more than happy to do so. Jihad, back to you.
For those that are just tuning in, welcome to the Rise Up Show. This is our monthly Rise Uniting People Forum. I am Jihad, host of the Handcuffs Off podcast show and the Northern District Manager for the Rise Up organization. You know, it's a pleasure for me to welcome the distinguished panel to the world. And again, this is Ebony Ivory, graduate, art major. This is LaVerne Fox, who is an author extraordinaire. And I am, again, the bear, Jihadsiddiq. So for everyone listening and tuning in, I just wanted to introduce, you know, the show and the panel, because it didn't happen in the beginning. We were waiting on some people to come in, specifically Belinda Trotter-James, who is she was an early contributor to the hip hop world through creating the Word Up magazine. And because of her and so many things that she did with her magazine, hip hop was spread throughout the entire world. And unfortunately, she's unable to be here today. But again, you know, prayers go out to her and her family wherever she is. I hope they're all safe. But for those again tuning in, you know, you all can Google Belinda Trotter-James and the creator of Word Up magazine. She also has a fashion magazine, and find out more information about some of the early stages of hip hop, some of the early stages of fashion, and how we evolved from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s until 2022 now when it comes to hip hop. It's a phenomenon, and many people has become financially stable, and generational wealth has been created through hip hop. And Belinda Trotter-James has been one of the individuals that put us all in a situation to love hip hop because of the exposure that she had with Word Up magazine, you know, and her influence on hip hop. So again, you know, I'm looking at Ebony Ivory's name. It takes me back to the Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney song, Ebony and Ivory. And
Stevie Wonder.
And Ebony Trotter-James had something in the Word Up magazine about Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. I never forget it. And it was all right on magazine. It was small excerpts with Ebony and Ivory. And they had, you know, Michael Jackson, Paul McCartney, the videos and those things. So, you know, again, to contribute and your name, Ebony Ivory, is a phenomenal name to have.
Thank you.
You know?
But it's Stevie Wonder and Paul McCartney.
Yeah, Ebony Ivory. I thought it was Michael Jackson and
no, Stevie Wonder.
Oh, it was Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, I listened to it for 20, 40 years.
people.
I actually like that myself.
That's right, Ebony.
Yeah. People
and you.
I've heard people mix it up with Michael Jackson too before. I've had a few people think it was him.
What song was it that Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson made together?
Oh, I don't know that. I don't know.
What was it? LaVerne, they made a song though, didn't they?
I don't remember that one, if they did.
I don't know. I just remember Ebony and Ivory, Stevie Wonder, and Paul McCartney. I don't know nothing else.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're gonna make me Google some stuff, man.
You'll have to share.
Yeah, that gets my curiosity juices flowing now. Because I know Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney did a song together. I don't know what it was though.
I want to know now too, because you're not the first one that said that before. So I feel like it must have made something if some other people have said it to me.
I got the song in my head now, and I'm trying to figure out. I know they made it.
I hate when the song's always at the tip of your tongue. You're like, oh my gosh, what is it?
No, I'm humming it in my head. Ebony Ivory. Yeah, it's in my head right now. I'm gonna do some research and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, sure, for sure. Share it with me.
Unless you want to just go and just play it right now on the air. I mean, you can do that.
I don't. My phone is propping up my.
Yeah. This Rise Up, Rise Uniting People forum is a very powerful forum. When you have the if you have the opportunity, Ebony, please, let the people out there in Colorado know that there is a podcast called Handcuffs Off. It's on Ablaze TV, and podcast itself speaks about the incarceration rate of African Americans and gives a forum and a platform to those that have been formerly incarcerated, those that are involved in incarceration or the freeing of people in incarceration and parole throughout the country, mainly New York State, because so many of us that has been incarcerated hasn't had a voice. People here, we have a voice, but our voice has been landed on deaf ears for years. So with the Hand podcast, it gives us the opportunity to let the people know that we all are successful in this life, and you just don't hear about the success stories, because when you mainly hear about an ex-felon, it's something negative. But there are so many that are, such as myself, host of a podcast. I work demolition and construction. CDC, which is a community developmental corporation. I'm a part of 3 different organizations here in Buffalo, New York. Mad Dads is one of them. And, there's so many individuals that are CEOs of companies that's been homes, that are master chefs, that are property owners, individuals that are investors, that work in Wall Street. Yes, it's of us all over the place. And this is giving individuals a forum. There's thousands of podcasts, and a lot of podcasts talk a lot of junk. A lot of podcasts explain different things about music and hip hop and fashion, but not many podcasts, if any, that I know of, give a platform to ex-prisoners to express themselves about the jobs, about their experiences in prison prior to incarceration, the things that they went through, the education that they had, that they acquired, how it affected their family, how it affected their friends, how they prepared themselves to be back into society now. And this platform is a wonderful platform. So please, holler at your people out there in Colorado. I know Colorado full of buffalo chips. Let them know what's going on.
Oh, that's an excellent that platform. I listen to it myself. I can't miss it. If I miss it, I go back and listen to it because it's just so good. But the name of that song is "The Girl Is Mine."
Oh, you looked it up.
There she goes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I knew it had to be something.
I was in the right ballpark. I tell you that much.
Yeah. No, you wasn't far off at all. You really
no.
Yeah,
no, it's common. I get a lot actually, so I'm surprised I never looked it up.
Thank you, I'm telling you, man. I don't be too far off, man.
No, you was in there. You were in the ballpark. You were in the range.
I know that's right. I gotta be in the ring now. I may not be throwing the knockout punches, but I'm gonna throw a jab.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah. When I was incarcerated, I had created a podcast in my mind, and basically paper. It was called it was going to be called the Sojournal Tree of Life podcast, the Unfiltered Truth. And it basically, I said the journey of the Tree of Life is spiritual. And when you're looking at life in its many branches, it represents all of who we are. And when you spoke about the tree, it made me think of that. I tried to incorporate that belief system within the Handcuffs Off podcast to give people the opportunity to see the many aspects of who we are, just like your hair color and your creativeness through your art and through loving animals and all of the things that make up who you are. That's an aspect of the Sojournal Tree of Life, because a sojourn is a journey. And the Tree of Life is one of the, you look at one of the biggest trees in the world, thousands and thousands of branches. And when those fall, when those different seeds fall, or whatever it is that falls, it creates another tree. You look at the acorns and different things like that, they create other trees. You look at those branches that go out, it solidifies life. So, always remember that our culture is a culture of beauty and vastness, and you can't describe it just one way. You'll never be able to just say blackness is this, African is this, African is that. We're too vast of a people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now look at that tree on your book back there. That book, yeah, it makes me think.
You see that tree,
Oh,
that's powerful today, right? That word tree. You see how you have my perspective of it on the book, what you just expressed. You see that? We all have a different, it all makes sense and it's true, but we all had we could say something different about the tree.
That's right.
Perspective for sure.
It's a phenomenal. Close this out by saying I want to thank you all, our guest, the Ivory D graduate, LaVerne Fox, the Author Extraordinaire, and Alvin Sampson, our Student of the Month. I want to thank you all for tuning in here, coming to be on this panel, on this beautiful show. May Allah bless you all in your endeavors. Continue to do what you need to do to win. Continue to be artistically creative and unique, young lady.
Absolutely.
Yes.
LaVerne Fox. She has a perfect stage name too, LaVerne.
Yeah, it's a nice name.
Thank you so much.
Until we meet again, you all continue to be blessed, stay focused, and as I always say at the end of my show, look in the mirror each and every day and ask yourself, what do you want your legacy to be in this life? And do everything that you can to take the necessary steps to make it a reality. May Allah bless y'all. Stay focused. I'm Jihad Saddiq, your host. This is LaVerne Fox. This is Ebony Ivory. God bless y'all.
Bless you too.
Have a good evening.
God bless you, and thank you so much. Thank you, Ebony, for coming on.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Rise up for the community, yeah. Rise up for unity. Rise up for the truth.
Thanks to our sponsors.
Rise up and the youth of tomorrow. Rise up for the community, yeah. Rise up for unity. Rise up for the truth of today.